A pleasant afternoon to everyone. So today we're gonna learn or continue learning about ethics. So what is universalizability? So it is an act. So according to Kant, it is an act to treat humanity in the concern of universal law. Universalizability, it is means the person's reason for acting must be treating humanity as an end, is that everyone should treat each human being as a human real being. So universalizability means that we need to treat persons on how we are wanted to be treated. So we need to treat person accordingly, accepting who they are. So know that universalizability is a study or an act that we need to treat a persons accordingly. So Kant specifies two ways or two thoughts about learning or treating people. So we have the respect each person freedom by treating people as they have freely consented to be treated beforehand. So the first thought means that we need to respect a person for who they are. For example, a friend of you confess that he is for example, your boy best friend shared to you or confess that he has a girl heart, or she is gay or bisex. So you have to accept his pronouns or accept for who he is or what is her personality, what is just like that. So we have to accept a person's for who they really are. We have to respect for who they are. So second is develop each person's capacity to freely choose for him or herself aims to he or she will pursue. So moto, diba? Itong example kay a friend who confessed his feeling. So moto, we need to help him to further know or identify who he really is. So we have to develop or help him to develop and pursue such thing that is acceptable yet kanang ganahan siya. So moto ang two thoughts about treating people. There's also a meaning about or a definition about universalizability. So universalizability, as I said, or according to Kant, it is an act of treating people. So we have the other term or other definition about it. So it is a form of moral test that is a particular moral judgment always have to carry universal judgment. So ang kanidang universality kaya pwede po siya a moral judgment of a person. So it is a test that will enhance or help us to determine how we can judge or give a moral judgment to a particular person. So it has method or a specific procedure that demonstrate the autonomy of person or the will of a person. We are knowing the two distinction of moral theory that Kant presented or shared to us. Namely the substantive moral theory and formal moral theory. So first is the substantive moral theory, which is immediate promulgates the specific actions that comprise the theory. So it identifies the particular duties in a straightforward manner that is sometimes traditional or biblically believed. So, for example, if it is the honor your father and mother, you shall not kill. So, it is morely on the Ten Commandments. For the specific example of it is the Ten Commandment of the Judeo-Christian traditional, which is we have the Ten Commandment that a person needs to follow. So it can also be the law that a society or a community has that an individual who lives in it should follow. Like for example, like now we are facing this pandemic, so we are given the rule or command to wear a mask whenever we go. So we have to wear masks to be protected from the virus and always use or sanitize our hand before and after doing such things. So just like that, substantive moral theory has a set of rules and commands that a person needs to follow. So second is the formal moral theory, which does not supply rules or command straight away. So it only provides form of a moral theory, that is supply a procedure, just a procedure, and the criteria for determining one's own list or duties and moral commands. So formative or formal moral theory is only a form or give as a moral truth is a theory. It provides only form or framework that we need to understand, or we need to further explain or further know what are we gonna doing or what are we gonna do so that particular thing or action. So formal moral theory is or procedures that we need to follow, though it's not giving us the rules. We need to know it on our own. So, best example of this is a cookbook, which we have or we can see such dishes that have no. Diba? So, ang nangyari sa cookbook kay procedures, mga ingredients na kailangan daw, wala yun dito ng specific rules or command na kanina dishes imong buhaton, kanina specific na way imong buhaton, kanina procedure good imong ikuan. Like for doing adobo, dapat kanira kadaghanon ang suka or kanira kadaghanon ang toyo. So na nimo kung imo tong i-follow tong kato na procedure na naa sa cookbook. So I mean that the moral theory give us the procedure, though nara nimo kung imon siyang sundon or dili. Not just substantive theory na kailangan yun mo siyang buhaton para mahimo kang maayo. Moral theory kay naghatag lang siya procedure, dili ang rule og kuan. So naani mo ikaw mismo mag-figure out kung unsay imong dapat buhaton ini na butang or unsay imong buhaton na action within this particular situation. Theory about the universalizability. 1785, Immanuel Kant wrote the Grundgedanken metaphysics. There is certain, and I don't know if I pronounce it properly because it's a Spanish, I think, or Greek word. So, motto, it is which he endorses the formal form or formal kind of moral theory. So dito nakapaloob or which embodies called the categorical imperative. So what is categorical imperative and how it relates to universalizability? So according to him, it is a it provides a procedural way of identifying the righteousness or the wrongness of an action. So, ang kuandra ko no, categorical imperative, kay dito na categorize or na dito mga procedure para mabuo nato ng isa ka action kay good siya or bad. So, according to the maxim of a person by which is the will of universal law. So, according to Kant, there's only one categorical imperative but have several formulation of this kind of moral theory. So we have the first formulation, universalizability formulation, and second is the humanity principle. Ito, to determine or formulate the categorical imperative, we need to know the four elements to formulate it. So we have the action. So second is the maxim. Third is the will of a person. Universal law. Those four consist rule that we need to learn or that is useful to our daily lives as we live day by day. These four elements does not have the pattern or the status of about law or have moral command, though it is bind us to act in a certain way. So these four elements help us determine what are the ways or a certain act that we need to follow or understand to make or do a particular thing or action. So Kant states that we must formulate on actions as maxim, so which he defines is as a subjective principle of action. So maxim is the standard operating procedure in our life or SOP, where we act and become aware according to our maxim or the rules and command that we need to follow or understand. Example, so these elements are useful to categorize or know our actions. So for example, kanang muagi mong crush, diba, naagi kay mga specific way or kanang ma-feel na buhaton ka na ako nino para mapansin ko sa akong crush. Unsa ka para mapansin ko sa akong crush no? Magkuhan ka ako no, mag-wave siya ano, so, ako pa ka siyang sitsitan or sa mga ways ni mo na para na imong gusto buhaton para lang gid mapansin sa imong crush. So mao ang categorical imperative. So nag-consist siya og mga ways or procedure na makuha nimong isa ka butang. So just like my example, di ba? Kung makakita kasi mong crush, makahimo jud kag mga unexplainable ways or procedure nga para nabuhat to nimo para lang gid mapansin kasi mong crush. So let's move on about crushes. So now we will learning about the forms of categorical imperative. So we have three forms of categorical imperative, which is a command that expresses a general unavoidable requirements of moral law. So which establish that an action is properly called morally good. So ang categorical imperative da kuno, ang three kuan kay mo ay help sa tua na ma-determine ng isa ka action or isa ka action kay morally good or maayo ba gyud ning or dili. So we have the first, we can will all persons to do it. Second is it enables us to treat others as the purpose for our actions, not merely as the means to our selfishness. So, we really need to respect each individuals that we can face or kuan. Ato ang action kay makatabang sa tanan, dili lang kay para sa ato ang kagalingon. Dapat kitang tanan mabulahan sa tuang mga action, sa to mga ginabuhat. Dapat ang tanang tao makadawat of good na result or kung hindi lang kay para sa imong kagalingon mo. To is, it allows us to see other person as mutual lawmaker in our ideal way of life. So, third is, kita ang tanan daw, or each person kay otoridad or na ay kabubuton na mubuhat og mga law or rules sa isa ka lugar. Di lang kay ikora ang mayor ay pwede mo hatag og rule or law, kundi ang tanang tao na nakapalibot ana or ang mga tao na nagpuyuan na isa ka lugar na po sila katungod na muhatag sa ilang idea about idea na makatabang sa tuang lugar. Categorical imperative kay we need to accept dayon respect each individual's rights. So we have to be equal, have to be more a specific and a good one. That we have to understand and accept the persons who surrounds us for who they really are. So according to Kant, if the maxim or rule governing our actions is not capable of being universalized, then it is not acceptable. So, ang pasabot ni Immanuel Kant, kung imo ang maxim kay nag-govern sa imo ang action related to universal law or wala siya nag-follow sa specific na rule kay dili siya acceptable. So, Kant's point is not that we would all agree on some rules if it is immoral. Instead, we must be able to will that it be made universal. The idea is very much like the golden rule. Kuno daw na ang rule sa isa ka tawo kay dili lang mag-focus na kay kuan kay kani kay sakto, kani kay kuan dili jud kana na specific law kay sakto siya daw tanan makabalo or tanan dapat mag-follow. So nagkuan siya na dapat, for example daw ipareha daw nato sa golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Do not do to others if you want to do. Kung ayaw mong gawin sa'yo, kung anong gusto mong gawin sa'yo, ay yun ang gawin mo sa iba. So, just like that. So, kuan ko na daw, ang categorical imperative ay universality kay about siya sa specific law or rule na kailangan ma-follow or kailangan sundon sa tanan. So, ayang giikuan niya na nakuan kay ang golden rule na which is nag-follow kita tanan, di ba? Na ato siyang gi-adapt as we grow. So mo yang pasabot, kailangan daw ang universality ay ang ethics or universalizability kay nag-focus siya para sa tanan. Dili lang kay para sa isa ka tawo, but para sa tanan. So if you cannot will that everyone follows the same rule, your rule is not a moral one. So imo kung dili ka sang ayon ana na kuan, kung di na kanang ang mga tao mag-follow ana na rule, then imo ang rule kay dili siya moral, dili siya sakto, di ba? So mo'y kuan ni Kant about moral judgment or about the morality of a person. He means that everyone should treat each individual, each person he might know or masalubong niya sa isa ka lugar or kuan na kailangan yun i-accept niya ang existence sa isa ka person. Dapat imo siyang respetoon kung unsa siya. So Immanuel Kant kung namatay contradiction sa itong kagalingon about sa ito ang moral law, kay dapat ma-reflect pud siya kung unsay makita nimo sa isa ka tawo. So mo na dapat kita gyud kay makuanta kanang be aware sa tuang mga action or sa atong mga ginabuhat na mga action kay naay possibility na ato mga gipangbuhat bisag gamay ra na siya pwede maapektuhan ang tanan. Kay according to Kant kay naay gyud tanay connection. According kay Immanuel Kant, kailangan gyud tama kay mga specific action na makatabang sa tanan, dili kay para lang sa imo. So